Hey guys, Jeremy Springer, man, I'm the special teams coordinator at the University of Arizona. Today, I really wanted to talk about really punt return technique and competition drills. And the reason why I'm picking punt return technique is because why it's something it's kind of easy to install from a special teams standpoint. And your technique, whether you're a middle return team, whether you're a field return team, boundary, whatever you like to do, technique is really everything, man, on punt return. Schematics are schematics, but once you get down the three different zones that how we talk about it, you can be very successful because it's going to come into play almost on every single rep, and that's why I love talking about punt return technique. And plus, you don't get into too much scheme on that, and I'm fine with that. I like that. And then competition drills. That's another way to build your culture in a way, to see what young guys or walk-ons or guys are going to come out there in those type of drills and really compete and win against scholarship guys. And it's a great way to get other coaches involved too. And that's why I want to go over those two things, because they're on the simpler, least complex type of deals, but they're also very vital to our success here at Arizona and vital to success to a lot of coordinators from what I've seen and what I've heard and what I've been groomed to where I'm at now. So we'll start with punt return, guys. Again, I'm going to go over our goals really quickly, and then I'm going to move forward, right? Our goals are simple, and I'm always going to be simple with our goals because you don't want 7 or 8 goals. You're not going to remember shit when you do that, okay? Keep it simple. I keep 3, and that's it, 3 or less, and that's how we're going to roll. 100% possession, obviously, is number 1. You don't ever want to give possessions away, so we're going to really stress that and really work a lot with our returners to make sure we're getting that. We're a big play mentality type of punt return team, okay? If you consistently look at the top 25 punt return teams around the country, they're always averaging about 11 to 12 yards a return. We want to be around 13. That puts us in around about top 15 in the country. And then we like that. If we're doing that, we're getting a first down or more for offense every single time. We are an extension of our offense, right? We are not a punt return team, guys. It's going to just fair catch every time, okay? Some teams, some head coaches are like that. Coach Sumlin doesn't believe in that. We want to help our offense out in that first play, get a first down for them or more, okay, and put them in great field position. And then, of course, with our technique, which is why it's very important, we're 100% penalty free, okay? No penalties on punt return. It's going to help us not bring that yard back, not put our offense in a hole from the initial start. So as you can see, our focus, guys, is building our toolbox, plain and simple. The first 2 days of spring football, the first 2 days of punt return install, in fall camp is about building our toolbox with these 3 different zones here, okay? And once we're able to do that, now we can move on to scheme, okay? And as you see here on this next board, okay, we have 4 major installs in spring and fall, okay? The first one's your attack zone, which is all technique. The second one, like we just said, is your transition and finish zones, which is all technique. After that, we install our scheme, okay, which is really our basic scheme because we're going to build off it every week and we're going to switch things up with our variations. And then our install number 4 is our bonsai block circuit, which is that's how we're installing that technique. Of course, we're not a team that brings bonsai every single time. We're more situational on that. So to me, it's the 4th, least important and something that I'm not focusing early. Okay, I'm focused on really return technique because we're a return team first all the way. So that's going to be a major focal point. And really, these 2 installs, guys, are the first 2 days of camp. So I'm going to get that in early, right away. And then move forward. Once we get in the scheme and we start going down the road and we're playing, I'll always drop in a scheme or 2, or not a scheme, but a technique to start that special teams segment. I'll start with the technique of the day. Maybe it's in the attack zone or the finish zone, depending on how we're doing throughout the season. If we're any good or we're struggling in different areas, well, then I'll just retouch on those schemes as we move forward and continue to show examples, okay? So as you see, as I talk about this, guys, a couple things I've stolen from other people like we all have, right? So I'll even talk about that. In the first couple of texts, I'll show Minnesota's coordinator talking about something because I believe in that, how he talks about it. I'll also drop in some NFL clips as well because like in our meetings, guys, I'm going to show us doing it, but then I'm going to show NFL guys doing it as well, okay? Because I believe that when they see stuff like that from a culture standpoint, they know, hey, I'm learning this now because when I get to the NFL as a free agent or a late round draft pick and I got to make the team as a special teams guy, well, hey, I know what to do and I've learned these techniques already. I'm going to be more successful there. So let's start here at the attack zone, okay, which is to us the line of scrimmage. So to me, I don't have a window, right? It's the line of scrimmage. Within that's a 5-yard, really a radius from there, and that's how I see it, okay? So off the attack zone, okay, we're going to talk choke technique because that's going to fall in the choke pin and choke wheel from there, okay? And then we're going to talk slingshot and then our vice double team, which is what we're going to do again at the line of scrimmage. So for us at the line of scrimmage, we're always in the attack, okay? And when that ball snap, we're moving forward, okay? They're not attacking us. We are attacking them. And there's 3 points that we're going to focus on there as a choke team. The first one is attacking and squeezing grapes. When I say squeeze grapes, right, I'm going to squeeze grapes from top of the shoulder pads, all right? Thumbs up, hands up, okay? I'm going to then work my feet. And I'm showing Christian McCaffrey with his feet just moving fast because really we're going to get into a basketball shuffle, right? We're trying to stay a square as long as possible because the longer we stay on that line of scrimmage, the more space our returner is going to get. And then last but not least, when I feel that his body, like his head and really 1/4 of his body is outside of mine, I call that 1/4 tilt right there. Now I'm going to long arm him and continue, okay, although I'm kind of beat now, but I'm going to continue to force him east and west, okay, so that he's not getting vertical. And we're still adding that space right there, okay? Our whole point is this: dominate the line of scrimmage for as long as we can because what? We want that returner to catch that ball and have space. And if he has space, he can find the vertical seam, hit it, and gain us 13 or more yards of return, which is what we're shooting for. Okay, so just to show, this is Rod Wagner right here with Minnesota right here talking about, and it's just to show it slows it down a little bit. I like how he does it where he's showing the examples, right? And it's just to show what we're trying to talk about because they teach something very similar, right? Different verbiage, very similar. So you can see right here what he's first doing, right? He's attacking on the line of scrimmage, right? And he gets what? He squeezed grapes, right? Hands on top of the shoulder pads, thumbs are up. That's how it should look. And then, right, as soon as that happens, now we're in that basketball shuffle, right? We're moving our feet. We're staying square as long as we can, okay? Now, as soon as he right here gets outside of my body, and I feel that, and now I feel like I'm in that position where I'm about to hold him and pull him down. It's a penalty. I'm going to let him go, but I'm going to long arm him right here, and I'm going to shove him east and west to the sideline, right? So I'm building that vertical space, right? I'm building that space right here to give our returner more room, right? He's going lateral and not vertical, and that's what we want to see out of that long arm position, right? So that's our choke technique. Let me show you a couple examples from game, right? So again, there is a little bit of lag with Zoom, as most of you guys know, so I'll try to be as slow as I can so you guys have good focal points on who we're trying to look for and have the film be a little more crisper than it could be, okay? So you can see right here, number 9, right? Hands, right? Top of the shoulder pads, he's squeezing grapes. Look at that basketball shuffle, right? He's moving foot to foot with this guy and staying square. And then as soon as this guy feels like he's outside of my body, like it is right there, now I'm going to long arm him. And watch, this is a great job by 9 right here of what? Pushing this guy to the sideline. And now look at the space that he's building. So when this returner catches that ball, shit, there's 40 yards of space there, man. And that's how we would like all of our guys. We're doing that now. We're the number 1 return team in the country, okay? So that's how that choke technique should look, okay? Whether we're doing choke pin or choke wheel. And we'll go over that here shortly. Again, watch 9 and 18 right here against Oregon, okay? Again, love the hand position, right? Outside of the shoulder pass, squeezing grapes. The basketball shuffle's not great there, but what they do a great job is this, right? As soon as those guys feel it outside my body, they long arm them right here, and they force them to the sideline just enough right here to build that space. And although they still kind of get decent releases there, they're still 5 yards or so behind some of these other guys right here, which sometimes for returner guys, if you got 5 yards of space there, shit, we're money, and that's what we like to see. Now, when do I use choke technique, right? Obviously in the line of scrimmage, but now I'm either going to choke pin my guy or I'm going to choke wheel, okay? But we're always going to use that word choke because we're always going to use that at the line of scrimmage. We're always going to try to choke technique and be aggressive at the line of scrimmage. So anytime we choke pin a guy, okay, is when the return is coming my side. So if I'm a left side player right here and the return's coming to my side, I'm going to pin this guy in towards the ball, okay? So again, return to my side, I'm going to choke pin in towards the ball. Again, guys, choke technique is choke technique. I just need to know where am I going to take this guy, inside or outside? And we use specific words for that. The first one being choke pin, right? Returns to my side, I'm choke pin. So as you see right here, okay, this is a right side player. The ball is inside. So we're going to return right here. So I know now I got to pin him in towards the ball. I'm still going to use my technique of choke technique, all right? So watch for 4 right here. So this is drill we'll do. We'll call it choke pin drill. This is one, and I'll break it down for you guys as we go through all the attack zone drills. So again, right, squeezing grapes, right? It's a little harder when you don't have pads on to be on the outside of shoulder pads. So it's okay if they're a little bit inside right here. But I just know that he knows he's got to be outside hands, thumbs are up. I love the basketball shuffle here. He gets in, and on that second whistle right there, he releases him, okay? Just for the drill purpose, he's outside my body. Now I'm going to long arm this guy and force him to the sideline. Okay, so again, the 3 phases of choke technique, now it's where do I release them because of the return. We're a directional team, guys. And because of that, we got to know where to release these guys and where we want to win because that's going to help our returner get to where he needs to go, whether it's a right return, left return, or a middle return. Okay, left side player, right? Returns to my left, okay? Ball's inside, okay? Now I want to pin him in towards the ball, okay? Here it is. Good job right here with his hand placement. Good job getting a basketball shuffle, okay? Once he feels he's outside my body, let's be aggressive here. Be aggressive and continue to not force him down the line of scrimmage vertically, but vertical, but let's force him down the line of scrimmage east and west, right? So we can build space for our returner. Okay, watching the game setting, I just showed this clip. It's return left. You're a left side player. Now I got to choke pin. So this whole side right here is going to choke pin inside so we can build space to the field here. So watch 9 and 18. Great job. Good. Choke pin, choke pin. There it is. Now when this returner catches, hopefully these guys stay in good relation down the field. Okay, and now look at all the space we're building to the field side. I love that right there by those 2 guys. Okay, again, watch 28. Okay, returns to his right, to his side. Now I got to pin him in towards the ball. Okay, he doesn't do a great job of getting hands-on early, okay, but what he does a great job here, 28, is long-arm this guy as he gets beat early. Okay, so watch that. When I watch him long-arm this guy, oh, it's beautiful right there. Just enough, right, just enough lateral right there where he builds some more space from these guys right here, and now there's 5 more yards of space in between these guys. If he stays in great relation here down the field, well, now he could use a good finish technique, which we'll get into later, okay? The next one, okay, it's a middle return, okay, or the return is going really just towards the ball. We try to say return is going towards the ball. So if I'm a right side player, it's going towards the ball. It means it's going to return left here or it's a middle return. I want to choke wheel, okay, wheel this guy away from the ball, right? Wheel him away from the ball from where the return's trying to go, okay? So again, same thing, choke technique, choke technique. It's a middle or a left return. He's a right side player, ball's inside, okay? Middle or left return, I want to wheel him away from the ball here. There it is, right? Using the same choke technique that we talked about in just the original choke technique version, right? Choke pin or choke wheel, that's why we keep that word choke in front of it because we know we're always trying to use that choke technique. Again, middle or right return because this is a left side player here. Okay, left side player, ball's inside right there. So again, and again, guys, you can start them staggered, you can start them balanced. You can see there's been a number of different ways I've done that. This all depends on what I'm teaching those guys off the jump of the ball. And it changes from me weekly. I'll always teach them start balanced. And that's how I start the drill. This is day 1 teach. And I'm not trying to go too advanced there from where your foot needs to be placed at. But again, right, squeezing grapes. Okay, and then I like right there he could be a little more aggressive. So that's what's key here, guys, in this drill is as they release, be aggressive, all right, and force this guy to the sideline and staying down the line of scrimmage instead of giving him a free release vertical right there. We want to force him laterally at all times. Okay, let's watch that example we showed earlier. Again, it's a middle or a right return here. So I want to choke wheel away from the ball. Okay, so here we go, number 9. Good, right? Good choke technique. And then watch them. There it is. That's wheel right there. I love it. Now left side players again, right? Middle or right return. Watch both these guys. Right there. 15 kind of loses early, but right there, they get in good position to down the field, and they know where that leverage needs to be because they know where the return's going, which is right here to the right. Okay, because like I said, we're a major field return team as it is. Okay, now that's all good talk, right? That happens, and when that happens, that's good when you players do it. But now you guys know, hey, we're playing very good opponents. Okay, every week the opponents we match up against, they're all scholarship too. So a lot of times we're going to try to choke tech our guy and choke pin or choke wheel, but sometimes we're going to lose leverage. And anytime we lose leverage, we want to slingshot shot our way back into leverage. Okay, so we're going to use that hip. So as soon as we lose, guys, we're going to immediately grab that hip with one hand, and we're going to slingshot our way back into leverage. And as you can see in these pictures right here, okay, is as he grabs his hips, he wants to slingshot aggressively where his hips turn. So when his hips turn, it stops his momentum just enough so I'm able to get back into leverage and get in that perfect position, right, without losing too much space there. Okay, so watch the drill setup we got here. Again, we'll start one guy, which is really the punt coverage guy. This is the punt return guy. We're going to start him out of leverage, already grabbing the hip there. As soon as I blow that whistle, right, he's immediately grabbing the hip, and he's going to slingshot his way back into leverage. And I like this, right, because he makes that hip turn, right? So you don't want to see this. In this drill, you don't want to see the guy barely grab his hip, and this guy just continues to run straight. This hip needs to turn. Because now I know he stopped his momentum, he slows down, and now I can speed up and get into that perfect transition right there where I want to be, down that transition zone, so I can make sure I finish with a great technique at the end of that return. Again, right here, watch this guy number 3 right here. Again, I love that with this hip. He turns the hip right there, and there it is right there. Slows him down just enough, and now I'm going to end up in that perfect one-by-one. We'll talk about it shortly in that transition zone. Okay, so that's slingshot. Here's a couple of examples. It's a bad example, right? Yes, it's a slingshot, but I don't like the position of his hand because they could literally call holding on us if one of the refs sees it. So watch one right here. He grabs the top of that shoulder pad right there. You see his hand placement. Don't like that, right? I don't need a ref to see that, and that gives a bad penalty right there, which you neglect a good return. Grab the hip. He won't see it. And then, again, when you grab the hip and turn the hip, it slows him down. Right here, you can see it doesn't slow down the Oregon defender, right? It just turns him just barely, but he doesn't slow down. He's continuing to run and using that speed down the field to where we're not in a great position to finish on that guy, okay? Watch 37 right here do a phenomenal job, right? This guy from Washington beats him early. He goes immediately, grabs that hip. So you can see it right there. Immediately his hand goes to the hip. He slingshot. Watch this guy's hips turn right here. There it is. And watch, he falls down. Now he's completely out of place, and he's in good position right now to finish on him. And now we've built that space for the returner right there. Let's watch again. 37 again. Clinic guy for us, right? Again, loses leverage right here. Goes immediately to the hip. Turns it just enough right there to now he slingshots his way back into leverage. Sometimes in games, guys, his hips might not turn as much, which Sevens didn't, but it slows him down, and he's able to slingshot back into leverage. And that's what we're trying to do there. Okay? Let's watch, and I'll show, like I said, some NFL clips as well, how it happens, right? Watch 53 right here. He loses, and immediately his hand goes to the hip. There it is right there, okay? Turns the hip, and now he's in great position, and now he just built enough space right here to now, hey, when this returner catches the ball, this guy's not going to make the play initially. And now that returner's got space to work with and find the vertical seam, okay? And then last but not least, in the attack zone, the vice double team, okay? We love to use vice, and sometimes it's on gunners, depending on the team we're playing. Sometimes it's interior, whether that's on a tackle, guard, or a gunner that's in the formation, okay? I like to talk vice double team because it is crucial. We like to take out the best players, and I think it can be a very good tool, whether you're at the high school, college, or even the NFL. And obviously in the NFL, you see it a lot because those gunners are really their money makers for any punt team. On the vice double team, guys, first and foremost, space is a vice best friend all the time, right? The more space you got, and not too much space, but the more space you got, the more time you have to react to where he's going. Because, again, he's got 3 ways to go, guys. 3 ways to go at all times, right? We call the first way the first door, okay? The first door. The second way he tries to go is the second door, okay? And the last turn he can make is the third door. So there's really 3 doors or release that he can make. First, second, and third. So first off, our alignment, we want to line about a foot away from each other, okay? Again, to give us enough space so where he's got to make a decision, but we got space just enough outside his body of framework where he's got some ways to go. And then, again, we want 1.5 to 2 yards of distance, right, between the vice player and the cover man. So we want that space so we have time to react to where he's going because we don't know. He can go either way, guys, depending on where that punt's going and depending on where he's lined up, okay? The next thing, right, the third thing is whenever that ball snap, our first step is always our outside foot in relation to this guy. Why is that? Because, again, he can go either way, guys. He's got 3 doors of releases. He's going to go either way. So If we step inside and he releases to our side, we're screwed, guys. He's going to beat us off the jump, and now he's got a first door release, and he beat us both, all right? So first step's always outside of relation to the cover man, okay? We always want to play with our outside hand. We want to try to delay turning our body, right? Stay square as long as we can. Again, just like we do in the line of scrimmage, guys, force this guy east and west here to build space. If the cover man goes away from us, guys, go right now, pin the hip. Go pin the hip now and close that second door that he's trying to hit. Close the second door now. Because at the end of the day, we're trying to force a third door release, right? So if he goes this way, that's the first door. He tries to go split us, that's the second door. And if we force a third door release, guys, we won. Because, hey, gunners and really all 95% of punt teams, they're the money makers, guys. So we want to try to get these guys from getting down the field and giving our returner a true space to catch this ball and feel comfortable, hey, hitting the vertical seam and going down the field, right? So that's our Fives double team. We'll work a deal we call mirror vice, right? So just working that relation of being a foot away. And all I'm looking for here, guys, is really that first step is always outside, and then, hey, staying square as long as possible and going to pin the hip when the ball goes away from you. So you can see right here, outside step, good, square, go pin the hip, right? Not a tough taxing drill, but just getting in that relation on our vices, right? Again, next rep right here, outside step, good, okay? Stay square. He doesn't capture that outside hand, and good, watch 47 go pin the hip, okay? He tries that second door release, it's closed. Now we're forcing that third door release, which is what we want to do to win. Watch it right here. Watch 6 right there. First step is crucial, guys. 6 goes inside there, right? Well, look what happens. He loses leverage outside, and now what? 5's got to make up for that. He loses, they both lose, and now the gunner wins, all right? So, again, guys, that's how crucial that first step is, right? Watch it right here. First step, outside. Very nice, right? Number 9 tries to go second door release. The guy 31 away, he goes and pins the hip. Now it's done. Vice is done. That's a good vice right there. Let's watch it in the game setting, right? Here against Oregon, who always has phenomenal gunners. They got phenomenal athletes on the outside. So we got to find a way to limit that way. And the way to do that is to vice them, okay? So watch 11 and 16 do a great job outside step. 11 does a great job of staying squared. He doesn't get on the outside hand. And watch 16 right here. Go pin the hip. He closes that second door. And now look, when I pause this film, one of their best players is about 40 yards away from where this returner is going to catch this ball. And now we're taking that guy out. And that's why I like vicing gunners right there, okay? So as you can see, like on an attack zone circuit, guys.
Hey, Coach, can I ask one question about that real quick?
Yeah, of course.
Do you do much where you'll drop a guy out of the court to double gunner? And if so,
Yes,
how does that coaching change for that?
How does that change for me? Really, all he's trying to do is, hey, as soon as that ball snap, he's taking about a 45-degree angle at his inside shoulder, okay? And he's tracking that inside shoulder. If the gunner gets beat outside towards the sideline, he's working over the top right now. And he's finishing that trail position, which I'll talk about next in that transition zone. If he releases inside, that's why I'm telling him to track that inside shoulder because, hey, now you want to force him underneath me. Okay, if he goes underneath me, well, he's just working his way underneath away from the return. Okay, and we're building that space. It's a tough one, man. That one takes a high rep at that. We get more into that on our third install. I'm gonna teach initial vice first, and then that rover adjuster we call it the 2-level vice, and really that 3rd day, 4th day, and then so on. We get the actual team reps.
And so will you have that jammer just like head up? And then the second level guy will just play off of whatever.
He plays off it. Yep. He plays off it all the way. And then I got a couple other techniques where I want him to force an inside release sometimes if we're 2-level vicing based on where we're trying to return the football.
I got you. Awesome. Thank you.
No, that's a great question. So as you can see, guys, when I have it on paper here and I show the team, I'm going to show, the circuit groups. We have 4 groups going, and we have 4 coaches teaching this. I'm doing one. We have 3 assistant coaches teaching the other one. On the returners on the other field or with our posted on the phones so they know what group they're going to be in, and it's going to be repetitive from that point on. Okay? I see my internet connection is a little unstable, so I'll just pause it for a second to make sure we're good. So that's day one, guys, the attack zone. Now in day two, now we do the transition and now we do the finish zone. We pair that up together, okay? The transition zone for us is the open field, right? Where now we got to make sure, hey, athlete versus athlete, how we're going to establish leverage so that when we get a point of contact in the finish zone, we're in good relationship and we're smart football players there. The first thing is when we're in perfect relationship, guys, and we can say hand the baton off, guys. At all times, if we're fucking at the same point where we're athlete for athlete and it matches up by personnel correctly, we should be able to hand the baton off at all times, all right? And I like what Coach Allen talks about at UConn. What I might go to is I've been talking one by one, but really we just want to be in good relationship with this guy. Be in phase with this guy, be in good relationship with this guy so that, hey, at point of contact, I'm able to make and use a great finish technique. I say hand the baton off because that's how, to me, you're in good phase right there. I'm going to just kind of keep it there. That's the phase I want to be in by handing baton off. Now, what we don't want to be, guys, we don't want to be at the same level as this guy or above him because then we're going to overrun the play. And you see that all the time, right? Especially early in fall camp when we get the team reps, especially early in the season when guys don't understand leverage in a game setting. So I'm going to show an example, right? It's a bad example, right? This is where we're not in that great phase. We're not handing the baton off, right? We're above right here or at the same level. And when that happens, guys, you overrun the play. So watch 28 right here, overrun the play. Because 86 can see where it's going now. Look, 86 goes down, and really he makes that play, takes the pursuit angle away, and he goes and makes that play there. So we don't ever want to be at the same level or above, all right, our cover man. We want to be in perfect phase. So you see number 6 right here, he's in great phase, right? He's handing the baton off right there. And now in the finish zone, now he can go and make that play there. Whether he pulls off a clip, he sits and fits, he back blocks, it doesn't matter. He's in that perfect relationship. So guys, getting your guys to understand being in that perfect phase, man, that's key, man. That shows up a lot for us, especially in scrimmage number 1, scrimmage 2, in the first 2 games. It's going to show up a lot, and it's going to be great teaching for our guys. And that's the difference between a 5-yard return and a 40-yard return. Okay, a lot of things like that. Okay, the next one is an extremely important one. Is this what happens when, hey, maybe if you're a coach that doesn't switch personnel a lot, hey, if you're the R3 or R2 on punt return, you're going to stay the R3 or R2. Okay, so a lot of times you might be matched up pretty bad with some guys at those positions. I'm a big personnel guy, so obviously I want to be I'm going to personnel. If they got a damn good right guard, I'm going to personnel that up. Okay, that's what I do. I believe in that. But a lot of times too, they might switch it up that week. All right, so the R3 that you have on the guard doesn't match up very well. So this is a position you might be in a lot where I'm losing late. Okay, but I know where the return's going. So now I'm going to intersect this defender at the midpoint, okay, of the cover man and the returner. It's all about you having to understand where the return's going, though. Understand that you can lose a little ground, find that midpoint, and then use the finish technique at that midpoint. Again, this happens a lot with us because we're a directional team, okay? And because of that, we're going to be losing late. And 20, like you see here, knows, hey, shit, I'm losing badly to 32, but I know where this return is going. He doesn't. So now I'm going to go intersect him at the midpoint and then still finish with great technique and still be able to block this guy, although I lost initially. Okay, so you see right here, day 1, guys, we're doing it fast right here. We just teach a middle return based right here. So we start our guy. I got this from Minnesota. I love it. We start our punt return guy on his stomach, so he's out of leverage. This is a scout team guy. He's just going to run to the cone and go finish here. It's a simple drill for this guy because he doesn't have to do much, all right? They know I'm losing right here. I got to speed up and go find him at the midpoint and just stop and finish at the hip in that perfect phase because we're not really teaching finish zone right here. So you can see right here, they're out of phase right there. Now they really got to make up with speed right there and go meet this guy at the midpoint and then finish right there at the hip. I'm not telling these guys to finish with pull off a clip or back block or anything like that. It's just really teaching midpoint, and that's it, okay? Now, as we advance, okay, because, really I'm just going to go over a really easy midpoint day 1, but now we'll do more directional after the 3rd or 4th install as we have, as we start the first 4 or 5 minutes of a special team segment. So now this is more directional, okay? This is more directional. here. So this is more relationship or good relation to what we do. So again, we'll start the drill as it is. It's a right or left return. This is really an equipment manager right here, as you can see. She's going to go right or left off the jump and just stop on the hash, okay? These guys are going to go wherever she goes, right, and finish on a cone. So you'll see how this works out here. She goes right. They're gonna do initially again what they do. They're gonna run up to their first cone and they're gonna adjust to where she goes, right? And the same thing with our guys. They're gonna adjust to where she goes because it's a right or left return. And now what I want to see how these guys is they lose a little ground right here and then go meet them at the midpoint. Lose a little ground and then meet this guy at the midpoint right there. Okay. Again, this is a very slowed down drill because it's a little bit more complex. Okay, and this isn't a walk-through practice, right? So again, not high tempo at all, very slow, so they can understand the concept before we get into an actual scrimmage rep or anything like that. Slow down. I really like what 37 does here. You can watch this guy here. He loses a little bit of ground because he understands that he wants to meet this guy at the midpoint and not go too early, because then if you push him in the back or something like that, or you get there too early, he might still outrun you, get front to back. This guy's going to him right away, which, you know, it's day one teach. I can teach it on film, but maybe you lose a little ground here and then go meet this guy at the cone there so I can understand that you kind of understand the concept. Again, day one teach is not an easy drill to teach initially, but once you get it on film, guys, you can run it again and then they understand it. Again, there's a drill. This returner goes to her left, all right, as we see it. Now let's go meet these guys at the midpoint and get to the hip right there. You see number 10 right there, pull off a clip later right there. So let's watch it in a game setting, all right? Again, field returns where it shows up a lot. Watch these two guys right here. Let's go meet them at the midpoint, right? Here's our returner right there, okay? Midpoint. Again, they're not going right to the guy now. They're going to meet them at the midpoint, meet at the midpoint. So now I can use my finish technique of pull off a clip, back block, sit and fit, right? There it is, sit and fit. There it is, pull off a clip. And now right there, now we open up a seam right there for our return. Okay, watch it again. Watch 20. He gets beat. He knows the return's going to the field. Now I'm going to lose a little ground there and then go meet this guy at the midpoint. He gets a good sit and fit. 6 finds the vertical seam. And now we're out the gate for about 15, 20-yard return. Okay, let's watch in the NFL. Let's watch a good example and a bad example, right? So let's watch right here. Let's watch the bad example first. So again, return is going to the field, guys. So this guy right here can lose a little ground here and go meet at the midpoint. But watch what this defender does from the 49ers. He goes to him now and just blocks him in the back. Okay, doesn't understand the concept. There it is, right? That's a bad example, right? All he has to do is lose a little ground there and meet it because they're going to the field side. Now let's watch our man right here that does a good job, okay? Watch this guy. He understands going to the field. I'm kind of out leverage here, all right? This guy's kind of beating me, all right? He's kind of stacked me right there. Well, now let's get to the field side. Let's lose a little ground here and let's use a proper technique and now push this guy in the back. There it is right there. There it is, pull off a clip. There it is. And you see right here, this ref throws a flag on the guy who uses bad technique over here. But it's a great job by the other guy right here, by the 49er, of doing a great job of shielding that guy and getting 23 to the field side where now he can find the vertical seam and he can go. But that's midpoint. That takes reps, guys. That takes game reps. It takes time to learn that. But if you're a big directional team, it's going to come in handy quite a bit. Okay, so that's really a transition zone. And we kind of pair that up with our finish zone because the fact of the matter is, you know, we have 2 days to teach it, so I'll do sit and fit by itself, pull-off clip and back block will be grouped up in a drill by itself, plant and retrace a drill by itself, and then midpoint is his own drill as well. We'll group that together in the transition zone and go from there, okay? So now we talk transition zone, guys. Now let's work into the finish zone. This is that point of contact. Now we're in perfect relation, right? We're handing the baton off, or we got to that midpoint, and now I use a number of these 4 techniques right here so that we're not pushing guys in the back, right? We're always finishing with great technique. Again, that's one of our goals, be 100% penalty free. Okay, so let me take a sip of this drink real quick. The first one, guys, is when I'm in perfect relationship, right? I'm handing the baton off. I'm in that perfect phase, right? I'm step for step for this guy, right? I could damn near see his far number, right? Because I'm that good of a relationship. Whenever this happens, guys, as soon as he starts to break down, as soon as he's about to go try to make a play on this return, that's when I'm going to get my hands on. I'm going to squeeze grapes. I'm going to work my feet just like I do on choke technique, right? In that basketball shuffle. And if he's going to get over the top of me late, I'm going to finish with that rip, so I'm not holding and getting a holding penalty on me late right there. So in this drill right here, guys, we'll start them in perfect relation right here. It's a 5x5 box, really a 10-yard window, right? As soon as I blow the whistle, they're going to immediately go to sit and fit as this coverage guy is going to work towards the returner. As soon as the returner gets past me, this defender right here is going to try to work over the top, and that's where I use that rip late right there to introduce late we want to rip so we don't get that holding penalty, right? So you can see right here, perfect relation. I'm handing the baton off. I'm in perfect phase. Watch 27 right there. They're going to get into that sit and fit technique, that basketball shuffle. I'm squeezing grapes. And as soon as they feel that scout trying to work above me, they're going to make that play. Plant reach is going to make that play. I'm going to finish with the rip. It's a great job right here by both these guys, especially 27 right here. Being aggressive, right? Being aggressive, finishing with that rip. And now there's no penalty called there, right? That's not a holding penalty. That's a great sit and fit technique. Let's watch both these guys, 28 and 81. Again, sit and fit. There it is right there. If you lose your feet, that's fine. Let's keep working vertical right there and finish the rip. That's a great job by 81 here. He's not doing a great job, but he's doing a great job of finishing because he's trying to rip up, but you can see he doesn't have his hands on the guy, so he's not holding the man at all. Okay? Again,
all right, babe.
Hey, Coach, I think we lost the audio on you for a second there.
Have coaches on board and have good assistant coaches to make sure they're teaching right and have good GAs or quality control, teaching the scout team exactly how to do it. Okay, I see we should be, hopefully the connection's not too unstable right now. So here, in a game setting, right, watch number 1 right here, okay? Perfect relationship, right? He's handing the baton off, right? And watch, as he breaks down, I break down, and look at that sit and fit technique right there. Great job. It's a fucking phenomenal job. He's in perfect position. That's how it should look in a perfect clinic, sit and fit finish zone, okay? Again, watch 1 again. I'm in great relationship. He breaks down, I break down. Sit and fit, throw his ass out. There it is. Now we just gave our returner all that space to work with, right, as we're going to the field, okay? Watch right here in the NFL, right? Both these guys in good relationship. As soon as they start to break down, I break down. And then watch them both squeeze grapes, get into that basketball shuffle right there, and finish the block. And now right there, 10's got all the space. Got one guy to miss and get to the vertical seam. The next one is really what comes into play. The next 2 really come to play more often than sit and fit from our experiences. Pull off a clip and back block, okay? Some guys call this different. Maybe it's a hip by or whatever they call it, okay? I call it pull off a clip. Anytime I'm not in that perfect phase, guys, and I'm kind of out of phase there, maybe I'm 2 yards away, but I'm still in good position to go make this play. In this type of scenario, what I want to try to do is take my near shoulder and near hip on this cover man and rip it aggressively across his body to the far number there and stop his momentum, okay? That's what's key there. I want to stop his momentum. I don't want this guy I don't want to run past him, and I can use my shoulder and my hip and run past him, but if you don't get your body into him, you don't stop his momentum. He goes underneath you right there because you overrun the play, and he goes and makes that play. But adding the hip, guys, is something that's key there. Add the hip into it to stop his momentum, but it's got to be an aggressive rip, right? So watch 11 right here. Aggressively use the hip and the shoulder right there to stop that scout's momentum. And once I see that happen right there, his momentum stop, that's all the returner needs right there to get vertical and finish that play. Okay? Watch here in this setting, right? So again, in this setting, guys, I have a pop-up right here 10 yards away. We're out of position, right? We're not really in that hand and baton off phase. We're kind of, this guy's 2 yards ahead, but I can still go make this play. Again, he's kind of midpointing, right? So again, that's where that midpoint kind of shows up right there. But you can see 28, he's going to run right here and finish right as contact's about to be made here on the pop-up. So watch 28 right there, and watch him rip aggressively. There it is, right? His hip and his shoulder gets into the body to the far number and stops that man's momentum. Okay, and that's how it should look. Okay, here's an old look. I was at QC at A&M. We had Christian Kirk back there, who was a phenomenal returner, right? And Coach Banks, who's the special teams coordinator at Alabama, did a phenomenal job teaching technique to these guys. And you can see it show up on game here in a crucial moment in this game. Watch 19 right here, okay? Watch him rip his shoulder and hip aggressively across his cover man. There it is. He gets the hip inside, stops momentum, and now 3 finds that vertical seam, and he's finishing down the field for a touchdown. Again, right here. Again, watch this guy on the wall. There it is, right here. Midpoint, pull off a clip, gets the hip and the shoulder across the body, and there it is right there. Takes him out and develops a vertical seam for a return. Okay? Watching the NFL, if you have Tyreek Hill on your team, okay, you better know how to do a bunch of technique because this guy's going to to the body. There it is, right? That's not a penalty. His hands don't even touch the guy. And now you give Tyreek the best return in the league, a bunch of vertical space to go get a 30, 40-yard type of return, which puts the offense in great field position. The next one we talk about is back block. So a lot of times, guys, your bigger body types, they feel comfortable from our experience using pull off a clip. So always tell those guys, hey, just basketball box out the guy, right? Box him out with the back block, hold him off right there. And just like you would in basketball for going up for a rebound and shit. And that's plenty good for us as we teach those guys, right? So you're watching drill setting. It's the same drill, guys. We go through pull off clip first, then we teach back block. So again, watch 23 right here. Just box this man out. Use good feet, good hands, right, to stop this guy's momentum and get him away from the return. Okay? Again, watch 51, bigger body right there, and there it is. Good job right there. Pretty simple technique, guys. It shows up again here at A&M a few years ago. Watch this technique by a bigger body. Just a quick box out right there, and now you set 3 off down the sideline. That's a great job by him right there. Okay, watch again. Watch 37 here against USC, right? There it is. It's a great look at it right there. See how he gets his hands out, stops his guy momentum, and now Sis got to work against one versus he's working against one, which I like our chances versus a long snapper than versus a guard running down there who's a better athlete. Hey, watch here in the NFL, right? Quick and simple, right? Back block, that's it. Stops momentum. Now watch 10, find that vertical seam, and that block right there did it right there. Now they go down and score in a crucial moment in this football game. Okay? And then last but not least, right, in the finish zone is, hey, when I get beat, I can't midpoint this guy. I can't pull off a clip. I can't sit and fit. I can't use the technique, all right? Now, hey, I want to put my foot in the ground and then work towards the return and pick up the next man available, right? When you know your beat, guys, we got to turn immediately and work up the field. So drill that we do, guys, it's just called plant and retrace, obviously. We'll work for 5 yards, pretend like we just lost. Now we'll work up field to the direction of the return. So you can see how our outside linebackers coach, Coach Boo right here, has them looping around to the return side so they can find the next body of work because obviously they're going to really work into the wall that we're building to the return side. Watch right here again. Watch 14-47, sprint for 5, out of position, and then work to the wall and work to the next available man. Okay, watch it again. So this is a bad example right here. Watch 25. He's lost, right? His gunner beat him. Now turn immediately 25 and go find your next body of work, okay? If 25 would do this, you'll also the example right here. Watch him just kind of watch the play. And as soon as 10 breaks the tackle, now he turns, right? He picks up that first guy. Well, if he picks up this guy here, which he would have, well, now number 10 is one-on-one with the back-end player. I like our chances right here. Put the foot on the ground. Now you're one-on-one with who? A punter, and now maybe it's a 10 to 15. Maybe it's a touchdown. But that doesn't happen. Now you're going against a good athlete in 24, and that's what happens. That's why plant and retrace is so crucial. Watch your couple NFL examples here. Watch this guy from the Bears. He's lost. His man's down the field. Now turn up the field. Now get a chip on this guy. There it is. He gets a chip just enough. Now look at 29. He gains 15 more yards here, okay? That's a first down plus for our return team. It might not seem big, but as you guys know, special teams guys, that's huge. They start the drive instead on the 30-yard line. They start the drive on the 42-yard line. Let's watch here. Again with the Bears, right? Plant and retrace. Work up the field. Find the next body of work. Now look what happens. That's a touchdown saving block for 29 down the sideline, right? That's how crucial plant and retrace can come into place, especially when you have a good returner like the Chicago Bears do in 29, okay? So again, on that day right here, okay, really in our finish zone / transition zone, we'll have 4 groups going again, okay? We get 10 minutes to do so, guys. It's about 2.5 minutes per drill. So you can see, guys, you have to roll. So all the coaches that we use that are involved have to be on par. They have to know each GA or guy that we have working there has to be on point. Now, if you don't have enough coaches or enough time, for instance, guys, this is taken from 2019 fall camp, because in 2020 spring ball, when we did this, Coach Summerlin only gave us 8 minutes. And because of that, we were only able to do 3 drills. So for time circumstance, I wanted to do that. And then, for instance, I was going to go back to another drill that we didn't get to do later on in one of our other installs. But that's kind of how I took advantage of only having 8 minutes versus 10 minutes. Which sometimes for everybody, for every head coach, it's always different there. Okay? So that's how I install the first 2 days of punt return, guys. So again, we want to win at the line, right? Line of scrimmage in our attack with choke wheel, choke pin, slingshot, or vice. Win in transition by handing the baton off or midpointing, and then winning at the ball. Sit and fit, puff, clip, back block, plant, and retrace. And that's our phase right there. And now we can install scheme, and now we can move on with our scrimmage work, and now just developing throughout the season and getting better at certain things, and then retouching on these things as they come up. And as we need to work on certain things that guys aren't truly understanding yet, which is going to happen initially until you build that understanding. So that was really our section two. I wanted to go into competition drills. Okay. And really, because I take a lot of pride in competition, I have a lot of fun with it. I love talking about it because I think in order to build culture, I think you have to do competition on specialties. It can't just be the same redundant, we're always going to line up 11 versus 11. We're going to just do punt all day. Make it fun for the guys, okay? And I'm going to go over that and how we do it here a little more specifically, okay? So first and foremost, okay, how often do we integrate competition drills, right? I focus on we because everyone's different, okay? In spring ball, guys, we do about 4 competition drills, right? We have 4 weeks of spring ball. We try to do one each week because you have the scrimmage, you have install. With that being said, we try to do it once a week where it's a major competition where we devote a whole kind of special teams day to that competition, okay? Fall camp, we do it about 3 times, okay? We do it the first 3 weeks of camp because the 4th week, usually kind of getting ready for starting games and we don't want to get anybody hurt. So in saying that, an important note here is head coach and personnel plays an important role, right? If you're a little low on personnel and you're like, man, if we do a bunch of competition and get somebody hurt, I can see that, you limiting that and not want to do more. Or if you don't have a lot of proven personnel, now you want to maybe do more competition stuff to see which guys truly want to compete. And then it's all about your head coach. I know some head coaches that love to do a lot of competition, right? So they're going to do more than 4 times. To them, 4 times, that's not enough. We need to do it, twice a week. Or even a fall camp, we need to do a lot in the start. It all depends on your head coach and your personnel coach. Someone gives me a lot of leeway with that, and I'm grateful for that. And so we kind of do it how I see it fit. And I like to do it once a week so we can still focus on scheme install and getting the things right so we can play a football game, okay? Some of the things that make competitions days fun, I really take pride in this or take ownership and believe in this, is grouping teams together, right? Sitting down with your assistant or sitting down by yourself and figuring out, all right, let's group these guys together, right? Because they're a good group, or maybe it's a group that needs to be together. What matchups, right? Is it freshmen versus seniors, right? Is it linebackers versus running backs? Involve your assistant coaches, right? Have one your outside backers coach be in control of one team, have the receivers coach on offense be in control of the other team, right? So now it's their team, it's their ownership of that. And then prizes for winners, right? In today's age, guys, I think that it's a little more of, what am I going to get for certain things? And that's okay, man. You got to give them something. If they won, what are they going to get? Is that Snicker bars, is cotton candy, whatever the hell you want to be, something that you have that you do for a culture standpoint, That's what we do. We give prizes for winners. We like that because, if you lose, you don't get anything, right? It's just like if you don't lose enough games, you're not going to play anything in the postseason. It's just the way it all relates. So we try to do those things right there. So I'm going to show a couple examples, right, from a couple means that we've done. So for example, when we group teams together, right, here's how we kind of started this meeting right here. So it's going to be a clip, right? We started with the PD Pablo Freaky League video. So this is for one of our teams here.
I don't like that.
So that was like, for instance, that started the video for our group. This team was Team Freak Nasty, right? So like you can see the head coach is one of our players. We didn't want him. He was a veteran player. We know he doesn't need to be in the drill, but he's going to run the team. Okay, so he's got to teach the technique that we're teaching or the competition for them. and he's got to be the team. So he's running the team there, okay? And then we're going versus another team, right? So here was the video for that. So you remember that movie, right? So this was team Kikambas, right? So head coach was Scotty. This was his team right here. And he had to teach that segment of the competition and what they were trying to do to win the drill. So that was it. Another example, okay, for a competition we did it even in spring was beat the vice. So this is how we did it. We grouped the head coaches. So again, I talked about it, right? We made assistant coaches. So this is our receivers coach, Coach Mazzoni. He was part of the Night Suckers team, and this was his team right here. And we just found a picture, put some guys' faces, right? And this was the team right there. So Coach Mazzoni ran this team right here, and this was his guys, right? So his job was to get those guys fired up and teach that part of the competition, okay? Our outside linebackers coach, Coach Boo, was part of the other team, right? The Bermuda Cartel, right? So again, this would be right before spring break right here. So again, we have like pictures of spring break in the background to get guys excited for spring break because I like spring break too, so I was excited for it too. So again, Coach Boo right here, his team had matchups, right? So I wanted these two guys. Anytime Coach Mazzoni's team went, I wanted like certain guys to be matched up against it because it was beat the vice. So we had Henley and Tilford. That was their matchup together versus the opponent. Okay, and then again, this was part of Freeburg and Watson were a part. They were matched up together to go against another opponent. And I'll go over that here shortly. But you see how you can make it fun with the guys, and you like guys having fun and laughing in meetings, and that's good. That's good energy, man. I'm all about positive energy and good energy. It doesn't always have to be a stuck-up room or tight room. There's time for that. But there's also time for fun. And I truly believe in that because I'm the type of guy that believes in that too. I like to have a good time, and I don't like to always be, on edge, right? And sometimes when you have that, it doesn't make anything. You want a fun environment there, okay? So the 4 competitions I'm going to go over, right? That was to show you examples of what I do in meetings for competition days. Now I'm going to go over 4 different competitions that we've done in the past. The first one's one versus one, okay? Very easy drill, guys. This is the punt coverage guy. This is the punt return guy. And this is early in camp. I got this from Jim Fossil, a.k.a. Bones, who's now the special teams coordinator with the Cowboys, was with the Rams at the time he was doing this. And really, it's just 1 versus 1, guys. It's a 12-yard drill. Hey, I want to see what this guy, can he get a good release off the punt return guy? And can this punt return guy get a hold up on this guy and force this guy east and west to blow that whistle and not force this guy to win? All this guys do is work release, stack them, and touch off on the pop-up. So you see how the drill works. It's a win for the punt return for the punt coverage guy. There it is. Simple drill, a low-impact, compact drill where I'm not worried about injury so much, but you can see guys competing, right? There's a number of ways you can do this drill, guys. If you guys feel like it doesn't relate to what you do, or you can start them in a punt stance, and you can be in a punt return stance, and you can work it that way. Whatever way you think relates more to what you do on special teams, all right? Again, right here, watch 4 and 23. Doesn't even get a handout. I know 23 right here with that move right there. Shit, that's a great move in space right there. I know 23 is the guy for me. This is our first spring ball, so I was trying to figure out some guys. Here, 17 and 2, this is a pretty good rep here. Both guys are fighting hard to the whistle. That's kind of a win for both guys, man. I kind of like that rep right there. And then last but not least, 34 loose here, because look at 7 right there, get hands on. Here, they'll keep working, and I'll blow the whistle right there. That's a win for number 7 right there. So again, very easy drill, not a hard setup at all, and a drill that's easy to really get in spring ball or even fall camp if you're worried more about injuries and things like that, okay? The next one, 4 versus 4. I love this drill in spring football. I love it early in fall camp because now it's punt versus punt return, right? You got 4 guys working down. You got returners down here catching the ball, and it's more field return. So I'm going to give a direction to this guy. Before that ball's thrown down, you can use a jugs machine, or was using a quarterback here. He throws it down, and these guys right here don't know the direction. So their job is to beat these guys off the snap, stack, and touch off. The punt return guys here know the direction before the call because I'm telling them right here, okay? So they know where they want to force this guy, whether it's choke, pin, choke, wheel, and I want to see how they work in that transition zone. And I want to see how they work in the finish zone to see which guys are picking up techniques. This is later in camp. This is probably, really late in the first week after we introduce the techniques, or it's in the second week when we already introduced scheme as well. So it's a great eval drill. It's a great way to get all the guys involved. And it's a great drill for the returners to understand how it looks with multiple guys running down trying to cover me. So watch the drill as it's set up. Just one whistle here. You see this is a return left as we see it right here. So you can see this number 5 trying to set his guys up. But you can see right here, like look at one right here, try to back block right there and gets this guy just enough right there where 5 puts his foot in the ground and he's going to get vertical, okay? Watch right here. Watch 33 right here. It's 37. Stack his defender. And now look, this guy can't pull off a clip or anything. He's lost. And now he touches off and he wins that drill. 20 right here. Does a good job of sitting fit right here. Does a great job of sitting fitting. And then this guy gets beat here. He sits and fits. So it's really a really good job by pretty much the entire punt return team except for really one guy. Now, what I didn't like about what I did here is I need to get some of these guys in like yellow jerseys, for instance. So so this guy knows who the punt return and punt coverage guys are. Okay, that was a mistake that day on us, but we still got some really damn good work in. Here's the next rep right here. So you can see out the jump of the ball, which I like here. Here's a walk-on guy versus a scholarship guy. See 47. He's a walk-on versus a scholarship guy right here. Watch him hold him up at the line of scrimmage and force this guy down the sideline in that choke technique. That's beautiful. So I know right now, look at all the space that there is right there. That's a great job by 47. It gets me to notice who that guy is right there and how I should maybe have him on the depth chart. Okay? As you watch everybody else, watch 55 right here. Slingshot. Let him slingshot his way back in the leverage right there. And there it is. Now he's in perfect relationship. This ball is going to the field side. And there it is. The only thing I don't like about 55 here is, hey, he could go work up vertical right here and pull off a clip. He kind of loses late there, okay? 5 right here. So what? Kind of sit and fit. He's just sit and fit on this guy, right? He doesn't have to do this. Sit and fit, right? Sit and fit, okay? And then you can watch right here, 13 trying to finish, but finish the rep, 13. Finish the rep. Is right there. 84 does a phenomenal job of working off this block and then finish the rep right there. So you can see how a number of things come into play right there when you do this drill 4 versus 4. I love it. I really do. You just got to pick a great time to do it because it is a little taxing because, again, they're full field reps, and you got to get a rep where they're both on both sides of the ball, okay? The next one, beat the vice, okay? I love this drill. I do it normally in the first week. Again, in this drill, guys, I'm trying to find gunners, okay? And I'm trying to see if we're learning the technique of beat the vice here, of a vice deal. So you can see right here, pretty simple, guys. I'm going to have a pop-up about 40 yards down the field. I blow the whistle. His job is to win and finish on that pop-up. Their job is to win, plain and simple, okay? I absolutely love this drill. I do it. It's a religious drill for me. I will do it every fall camp, every spring football because it really shows you if you have any gunners on your team, okay? So you see right here, 21-3, good job. Outside step. This guy tries to go inside too quick. He loses right away, okay? Not a great job by 15, but a great job by the vice unit, okay? Watch this one right here, okay? 23 wins early. He wins by first door alignment. Now watch 1 all the way down the field and finish right there. That's a great job right there by number 1 right there to finish on 23. So you see how this drill plays in the part, and it gets us working. Because what I'm not gonna do in this drill, guys, is I'm not gonna put 1 as a gunner, okay? He's not a gunner for me. I'm gonna find a group of guys who I think could be gunners, maybe it's 10 to 12 guys, and I'm gonna put guys on this end that are gonna be in vice situations throughout the year. So it can be a number of guys from linebackers to DBs, receivers, and they're gonna work solely on the vice. They're gonna work solely on being gunners, okay? Again, right here, this is a true freshman in this film right here. All right, this is a true freshman in his first spring right here. He's a mid-year guy. So right here, I don't like he takes a little bit long right there, but shit, look at that release right there when he does, and then watch him have that sense of urgency right here to get front to back and then finish right here. And I know right now Ford's a guy for us, right? So I know Ford can run down there and possibly do it for us with some coaching, all right? So that's a great way to look at it. Watch right here. Look at 11, veteran guy right here. Not great technique, okay? But look at 11 right there, okay? Beat these guys with speed. 11's a guy for us. And watch him get down here, stack, and then finish right there. That's showing me right there he can do it for us, and I knew he could off that rep right there. Watch right here. Here's a true freshman for us right here. And why I wanted to show this film is watch right here, split it. Now, what you guys got to teach here in this drill is, hey, at point of contact, guys, we want to use our technique. So 5 does a good job. He can do it. He doesn't get there, but he doesn't push this guy in the back. Because, hey, if you push this guy in the back and this guy falls head first in this pop-up, that's an injury waiting to happen, guys. Or you don't want to hold him here and tug his jersey down. Guys, teach how to finish right here. And if you can't finish on him, let's not do that and get anybody injured. It's a great job by 25 right there to win that rep, okay? And then watch, another, like I said, another great drill. This is a walk-on for us. This is previous spring before COVID happened, right? Watch him beat these two guys and then watch him go tackle this pop-up, right? It's a great eval drill. Again, I know 40 now is a guy for us, or at least he can be a guy for us because I know his mentality, his competitive spirit. So watch him beat these guys right here. Watch him go down here, stick this guy a little bit. He front doors with speed, and then he finishes right there on that pop-up, right? It's a phenomenal rep by that guy, and now I know a walk-on for us could possibly help us on special teams. Okay? Or you make it fun, right? These are our specialists, right? This is 2 years ago. This is both long snappers right here versus our kicker, okay? And now look what happens to both those guys and see how hard it is. Our 43 does a phenomenal job of beating both these guys right here and watch them go finish right there. And again, it makes it fun for everybody else and a practice right here. Guys are having fun with it, right? It's just another way to kind of build a little bit of culture. Just have fun with it instead of being so stagnant with it at all times, okay? Then last but not least, Lions and Gazelles. Many of you guys probably use this drill, okay? Maybe some of you guys don't, okay? This is a great kickoff coverage and kickoff return drill. We call it Lions Gazelles, right? The Gazelle is trying to beat the Lion. What the Gazelle is trying to do is make an avoid move within this box right here, right or left, using our technique, and then get front to back and finish on the cone. The Lion right here is trying to drop into this box right here and use our kickoff return technique and trying to drive this guy out of the box. As soon as he drives this guy outside the box, it's an automatic win for the Lion right there, okay? Again, it's going to be a presentation type deal. I'll show this deal. Most of you have probably seen this clip about or seen this quote about the Gazelle waking up. You know, he's got to beat the fastest lion or be killed. The lion's got to catch one or he'll starve to death, all right? And I try to tell those guys, man, when you wake up in the morning, man, you're the lion or gazelle. All right? And that's what we try to introduce this drill like, okay? So you can watch a couple reps of the Gazelle waiting and how it should look. So again, right here, watch the great avoid move right there. That's a great avoid move. And watch him get front to back and then finish through the cone. Some guys you'll see, they'll win and they just run over here. We don't want to teach that. Finish through the cones by getting front to back because now I know I stack my defender and now you know he's got to either plant and retrace and work vertical or go find another body of work on a kickoff return. Watch right here. It's a great rep by 37. Okay, great rep by 37. Make that avoid move. There it is. Oh, it's beautiful right there. Watch, he stays in the box right there. He stays in the box. Key, guys. Some of these guys are going to run. They'll take a foot outside the box. That don't count. Stay in the box and then finish in the cones right there. Good rep right there. It's a great rep right there, okay? Great rep right there. And then see the guys are getting hyped right around there. Again, right here. I don't encourage this, but sometimes it happens. If the kickoff return guy doesn't lower his weight, 13 right here tries an avoid move. He ends up going right down the middle of the guy, puts him on his ass, and then he finishes through the cones, okay? That's a win. Shit, that's a win right there. I don't encourage bull rushing at all, but sometimes it happens naturally. If it does, shit, let's put it on film. Right here again, okay? So, again, it's a great rep by 4. I don't like how slow he is there. He still wins, but it's a great job right here. Watching 3 continue to, hey, I can still win if I get him out. And then watch 4 stack them and then finish through the cones. That's why I'm showing this clip right here. There it is right there. That's a win. Great job by 4, right? See that right there? Now 3's got to push him in the back, right? Just like it happens in real games. And then last but not least, look what happens when the Lion wins, right? What happens with the Lion wins, right? He gets in the box. There it is. Throws him out. That's a great win by 31 right there. And that's how it should. Now we build that vertical seam for the returner on kickoff return. And then last but not least right here, watch 27 win again, right? Watch him flip his hips. Right there, now he's attacked. He closes right there and drives this guy out of the box. That's a clear win for 27. And now we're building that vertical speed or vertical lane right there for our returner. So those are really the 4 competitions we do. We were going to introduce 2 more this spring that we got through the off season, but obviously with COVID and things like that, we'll have to wait to introduce those till a later date, which I'm excited about. Hopefully get on film so we can show in another type of clinic down the road, maybe next year or next summer or things like that. But that's kind of how we run competitions, guys, and that's how we roll things. Again, punt return from punt return technique standpoint and then from a competition standpoint. So again, guys, thanks. If you got any questions, here's my email at the bottom. if there's something that you're like, shit, there's something better that we do that maybe, Coach, you might want to look into. Shit, I'm all for it, man. All ears. I don't ever stop to think that I know it all. Okay, I definitely don't know it all, and I never will. But I'm always down to learn some new things. I know, Coach. Me and Coach Allen talked about a bunch of stuff on punt return. There's some things that we talked about just last week that I'm gonna change on my punt return playbook. So a couple of things that he said, I'm like, fuck, I like that shit. That's awesome. So, and I'll always pick shit up like that because obviously we're all trying to always learn here. But that's all I got for today.
Yeah, man. Anybody any questions?
And like I said, you guys hit me up, man, through my email. And if you guys want to get my number, get it through Garrett or anything like that, and just text me or something like that. We'll go from there.
No, man.